Billy, the one thing that all athletes have in common, man, I'm super excited. Messaged you yesterday about this topic. I can't wait to jump into this thing, man. The one thing that we all have in common, the same thing that Mike Trout has, you have, that I have, that LeBron James has, and it's just a matter of how we use it. So, what is that one thing that you guys are thinking about? For those of you that are jumping on, first of all, thank you for joining us. Of course, Billy always brings a ton of value, but the one thing is time. And time, obviously, we have 24 hours in a day. And this isn't just going to be a talk. This isn't just going to be 30 minutes of talking about, trying to pump you up that we only have 86,000 seconds in a day. It's going to be really about the use of your time. So, Billy, thank you for coming on again, man. This is awesome to have you on 3 weeks in a row. I'll let you take it away, man.
For sure, dude. Thanks for having me. Happy to be here again. I love the cover art for the intro with your face. Whoever did that knows what they're doing.
Appreciate that, man.
Gets me hyped up every time. But yeah, dealing with time. I mean, very important subject. Like you said, everyone has the same amount of time. It's just how do we utilize that time? I'm going to bring in a different kind of perspective that maybe isn't well known to people, but I think with time, instead of rushing and trying to get everything done, and always being in a hurry, I think sometimes we can actually slow down and take our time, and that actually helps us to use our time more wisely. So if we can kind of focus on one thing at a time and really, focus all our energy, all our thoughts and beliefs into that, then we'll actually find that we have more time after we accomplish that task. So that's kind of how I want to get started. See what you have to think about that.
Yeah, man, this is completely unprepared. I didn't know that's the route you were going to go. This is a book I'm reading right now, Living with the Monks, Jesse Itzler, and he went to live with some monks in New Skeet, up in the Northeast. I believe it was New York or Connecticut. And one of his biggest lessons, Jesse Itzler. He's a big business guy, personal development guy, mindset guy. One of his biggest takeaways from living with monks for 2 weeks was a term he calls monotasking. And monotasking is exactly what you just described, that giving 100% focus to what you're doing in the moment, it actually, the way he describes it, gives you more energy, more clarity, more efficiency in your entire day. And he said he learned this through washing the dishes. They had an event at the monastery where he had to wash dishes for over 100 people. It might sound like a large task or a pain in the ass or something like that, but through washing the dishes for over 100 people, just simply focusing on that one thing actually makes you more efficient. It actually brings you a lot of clarity.
I agree 100%. When you can really focus, your full mindset into something, it allows you to get rid of distractions, first of all, which is huge. And then it allows you to actually, focus in on what you're doing. And then you're not thinking about time because all you're focused on is that one task, and then nothing else matters, which, looking at, all the elite athletes, elite business people, entrepreneurs, whatever, a piece of advice that they would give people is to try to have your best focus for the most important parts of your day. So if the most important part of your day is going to talk to people or going to, make connections with other like-minded people, then you should put all your focus, all your energy, and all your time into that. And then whenever you're done with that, don't worry about how much time it takes, because, that's what matters. That's what's important. As an athlete, if you're going to work out, don't say, oh, I only have an hour to work out. Hopefully you can allot an unlimited amount of time, and then your body's going to tell you when your workout is finished. But if you can apply 100% focus during your workout, not only will you get more out of it, but you'll probably get done quicker, and then your mind will be cleared. And when you're done, you're going to feel a lot better and a lot more accomplished without timing it. Oh, I only have an hour. I can only work out for this amount of time. Kind of just go with the flow and see where your body takes you, and your body will know when it's, when you're done.
Yeah, man. I really believe that there's two types of people. There's like the strict time management people that, you know, are detailed down to the very second. And I think you have to have some aspect of that. But you also have to have the aspect where you're flexible and you're willing to adapt and you're willing to adjust. You know, not that you just go through the day willy-nilly with no plan, right? With no structure, right?
Mm-hmm.
And obviously what works for you is got to be ultimately what you decide to do, because what works for you might not work for me.
Right.
But I agree 100% in regards to time. I mean, just think about a workout, for example, because explaining things from a physical perspective, I think translates a lot of times to how things process on the mental side. But think about a workout. If you give 100% of your focus in that time to your workout, do you think it's going to be more beneficial? Absolutely, man. If you have 100% focus, let's just use a very generic exercise, right? 100% focus on your bench press, for example. And you're focusing on the muscles that are supposed to be working, and you're focusing on your proper form, and you're focusing on, you know, positioning yourself correctly on the bench. That workout's going to be way more beneficial. And I'm a victim of this a million times over, going to the gym and you're thinking about something else. You're thinking about work. You're thinking about something else you have to do that day. You're thinking about something that happened in the past, something you're doing in the future. So while you're physically doing it, you're not getting as much out of it.
Exactly. So not only your muscles are going to respond better with that focus, but also mentally, you're also going to strengthen your mental focus, and you're going to have more clarity, like we talked about. And it's huge when, you know, your body and your mind are obviously connected, and they're even more connected than most people think. So the more intent, I like to call it intent, which is just, you know, what you're trying to get out of that. If you're trying to get stronger out of your workout, not only can you get stronger physically with really focusing 100% on what you're doing, but you're training your mind to be able to focus on that sole task. So then when you get out on the diamond, you're on the mound, your sole focus is on the catcher's glove. Or, you know, you're in the box, your sole focus is release point of the pitcher, see ball, hit ball. So at all times, we can not only strengthen our bodies while working out, but also our minds.
Yeah, man, I agree 100%. There has to be an intent. There has to be some sort of outcome that you're looking to get from it, instead of just going through the day, right? Getting through that to-do list. So, you know, a big kick I've been on lately is finding the value in excess time. And here's just a little perspective that I want to share with everyone, is that if you find a 10-minute pocket, now I'm actually, this really pisses me off, because there's a lot of people online that are, you know, grind, work 24/7, 365, right? And we'll get into that maybe in a couple of minutes, but something to put things in perspective as far as time. And I'll give you a perfect example from my life, something that I'm trying to do right now. As soon as my alarm goes off in the morning, is to just simply put my feet on the floor and go. Am I perfect at it? No. But if you find a 10-minute pocket throughout your day, over the course of a year, that adds up to over 60 hours. Just 10 minutes a day. A 10-minute pocket every single day adds up to over 60 hours. Over a week and a half of work, right? A typical work week is 40 hours. So 10 minutes a day, instead of me just being, you know, lazy, or I don't want to get up, or I'm sore, or I'm tired, or I just delay it, and laying in my bed on my phone, scrolling through emails or social media for 10 minutes, put my feet on the floor and start moving. So that 10-minute pocket, I mean, I invite everyone to find 10 minutes throughout your day. And it's not about filling that 10 minutes with more work or more grind or more physical stuff. And this is the kind of stuff that really pisses me off, because I shared this with another audience, that perspective of 10 minutes a day. And it adds up to 60 hours over the course of a year. And then, of course, you get the people chiming in. And I'm not going to say it pisses me off. It's just, it blows my mind. I'll say that. It blows my mind, because they're like, oh, no, I'm going to find 2 hours a day. I'm going to find 3 hours a day. I'm going to find 4 hours a day. but don't you think that would wear them out? Don't you think that's completely changing your entire schedule, and then it affects everything else? I know I just rambled on there for a couple of minutes, man, but I'd love to get your thoughts on what I just said.
Yeah, I'm surprised that you're saying you're pissed off, dude. I never really seen you mad.
Yeah, that's poor choice of words, but
you're passionate about it. You know,
yeah,
you got to be passionate about something. But yeah, I agree. So, I mean, there's people like Gary Vee, for example, who, I respect from what he's done. He's done great stuff. He's very successful. He loves his life. Good for him. But not everyone can live with that mentality of just grind, because your body and your mind need space to kind of relax and rejuvenate. So yeah, we want to make wise use of our time, but there's a time and place for everything. I mean, life's all about balance. So, if you get out of bed right away, like you're saying, and you don't spend that 10 to 15 minutes on your phone, then maybe you could find that 10 to 15 minutes another time in the day if you want to go on your phone, and that's totally fine. As long as you're not spending hours upon hours doing nothing. But if you're trying to find, that extra 10 minutes, what do I do that's productive? Like you said, it doesn't have to be some crazy, like go do sprints for 10 minutes. It can be, okay, I'm just going to clear my mind, do some breath work on my breathing. Maybe I just go and like sit outside and enjoy nature for 10 minutes. Or maybe I just do some visualization for 10 minutes, something like that. It can be something relaxing, not only for your body, but also for your brain. So I'm all about having like a skeleton kind of for your day, at least for me, for my schedule. I make a skeleton of like, all right, I'm going to do this in the morning at about this time, maybe do this, try to get this accomplished in the afternoon, and then if my schedule gets altered, I'm not going to like be all crazy and manic about it, because, time makes people manic, and time really drives people to kind of stress. And there's no need to really stress over time, because no matter how fast you're trying to get somewhere or how fast you're trying to do something, time doesn't stop for anyone. So you might as well enjoy the moments that you have instead of like rushing through it. All right, this is what I have to do next. Enjoy what you have in this moment, which is like what people call mindfulness.
Yeah, with what you're saying too, man, it's that time that you're relaxing or anything else, that can be strategic, right? It's not blowing off your schedule, or it's not wasting time. You can literally have time where you're just having fun, or you're just relaxing, or you're just connecting with nature, whatever it is. It's not about managing your time and filling up your to-do list with 100 things to do in a day. And if you're one of those people, if you're a huge time management person that loves the structure of every 30 minutes or every hour, I strongly suggest that you try to implement what Billy just said, having pockets of your day where you're literally just relaxing, or you're literally just trying to reconnect with your mind. I mean, we can talk about meditation, you can talk about all sorts of different things, but we're talking about time today. Isn't it amazing though that this is the one thing, literally the only thing that we all have in common with professional athletes, with our friends, with our family? This is the one thing that we have in common with everyone.
So how does the professional athlete find time to, take care of his family? Or if he doesn't have like kids or anything, how, he still spends time with loved ones, with his relationships. How does he find time to do that? Get in the gym, work on his skill work, go to team meetings, watch film, and do all these things. How do you think he finds the time? And I think it comes down to mental discipline. So he's more disciplined where, he has a schedule and he's going to try to adhere to it. It's not going to be perfect ever, because things are going to pop up, and that's fine. But he has the discipline. Okay, instead of, sitting on my phone for the next half hour, just looking at social media, I'm going to go and, help my grandma get groceries, whatever. I'm going to do something to fill up my day that's productive, and it doesn't have to be like crazy stressful or crazy exertion. But as long as you try to stick to, a few goals that you want to accomplish for that day. And it doesn't have to be 100 things. It can just be maybe 1 or 2 or even 3 three tasks that you really want to get accomplished, and you're going to pour your heart and your soul, and every second you're going to be focused on that. And I think that's how the professional athlete and the elite performers find time to accomplish everything, is they pour their heart and soul into their workout or their training whenever they're doing it.
I agree, man. They're getting 100% out of that time. Have you ever done any like time audits or anything like that on your own schedule, like for a day or for a week or something like that?
No, I kind of, like I said, I make that skeleton schedule and try to adhere to that. And then, I just make changes where I need to. I listen to my body. If I enjoy like going on a walk in the morning rather than going to take care of all my emails and stuff on the computer, and that's more better for my mental health, and I'm going to do that. Or if that day I'd rather be on the computer and talk to you and make connections that way, then that's what I'm going to do. So I think the big thing is listening to your body and listening to that intuition. What do I want to do today, and how is it going to help me for today and the future?
Yeah, you're very in tune. You're very connected with the sensations that you have, the feelings, the emotions, the physical side of things. So that's something that not a lot of people have, man.
Yeah. Finding your intuition is tough, especially in today's society, because we have distractions all over the place. And there's a lot of people telling you when you should do things, why you should do things, how you should do them. But if you kind of just take a second and listen to what your body and your brain are both telling you, and then you're going to figure out what's best for you, because everyone's different, and everyone's schedule and everyone's goals and tasks are going to be different, and it'll be more beneficial to be done at different times of the day.
For sure. And there's different schools of thought, right? Like this is a little off base with athletes, but Jeff Bezos schedules his like highest stress, his most important meetings for earlier in the day. So he knows that's when he's going to have the most energy, that he knows that's when he's going to be the most alert, and he gets it out of the way early. And then the rest of the day is, filled with other tasks. And then there's, obviously there's other people that, like to get up early and get things done. So there's a lot of different approaches to it, right? But it's really how you use that time. It's how you use that 24 hours that determines if you're moving towards your outcomes, if you're moving towards your goals, or if you're not moving towards it.
Right. And I've heard a few different people say, everything that you do in the day should be like supporting your overall goal. So for me, for example, my overall goal is to keep playing pitching, in professional baseball, and try to keep rising up the ranks and maybe, get promoted to better leagues, whatever. So, all my tasks and everything that I'm trying to do for the day it's all connected, and it's all in relation to my overall goal. And it doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm throwing a baseball for 3 hours a day. That can be, all right, now's the time where I need to practice my breath work and my focus. So then when I get out on the mound, I can get rid of all distractions, focus in on one goal, catcher's glove, see the target, and go from there.
All right, so this is going to come from both of us here, right? But let's share with people watching this. What can parents, coaches, or young athletes do with their time that they're not physically working out? Now, it's going to vary between like a little league age player and a high school player and a college player. But just in general, some things that players can do when they're not physically doing something.
Good question. I think the biggest thing for parents, and this is going to sound crazy, is to give their kids more choice. And I read some books on parenting and, raising kids, whatever. And it shows that the more choices that kids have, personal choice, they actually make better decisions. And their decisions are also going to come from imitating the parents too. So if their parents are sitting on the couch, on their phone after work for 3 hours, then, the kids probably want to go on technology and just, veg out and do whatever. But if the parent's going outside for a walk, he's calling grandma to see how she's doing. The parent is maybe doing some sort of meditation or breath work, then the kid's going to be interested in that as well. But the main thing with personal choice, I think, is huge, because it not only teaches kids that skill set to have when they get older. Like, oh, now I know how to allot my time, and I can make my own choices of how I want to improve myself. But it also, you'll be surprised to see that, kids are more intuitive than most adults, and they know what their bodies need, and they know, what's going to make them happy. And obviously if your kid's, trying to be on the computer for 10 hours a day, then yeah, you're going to have to say, Jimmy, you might want to get outside, buddy, because, it's not good to be on technology that long, which is fine. But then if you kind of make suggestions, and then eventually they're going to be able to make better choices for themselves. And I know that didn't really answer your question.
No, that's a good approach, though. Instead of forcing the kid, allow them the decision. So, mom, dad, if you watch this, thank you for so much freedom when I was a young kid. That's definitely beneficial for sure.
Yeah. For someone like me, like that does baseball lessons, I mean, if the kid's not enjoying the lessons and he's not looking forward to them and he doesn't want to be there, not only does it make it unenjoyable for me, but the kid's not getting anything out of it, and the parents just wasting their money. So instead of forcing your kid to go to a lesson, I would give them the choice. Do you want to go and do baseball lessons? If they say no, that's totally fine. Just find another avenue that's healthy for them to either get some work in physically, or just a way to get outside and do some free play, go to the playground, whatever, anything that's going to benefit them mentally and physically. But then there are some exercises that kids can do that are interested in bettering themselves, for athletics and for just mindfulness and peace of mind in general. And we already mentioned those, which are just breath work. So just working on your breath, which it's meditation and breath work are the same thing. You can do it with your eyes open, closed, whatever. But the main thing about breath work is clearing your mind and just thinking about your breath and being present to where you're at in this current moment. And then also visualization is huge. I just wrote a blog post about visualization and kind of like some cues and some advice on how visualization can really help you as an athlete and just as just anyone in general.
How young do you think players can start using their time to visualize?
I think as young as like 6, 7 years old, man. I mean, and it doesn't have to be for an hour-long visualization. You can just do it for like 2 minutes. Give the kid 2 minutes. Just say, relax, sit there, close your eyes, and kind of just see yourself succeeding, at baseball, or see yourself, having fun with your friends, or being out in the sun, or being close with your family. Anything that you visualize and your brain fires, and your brain's like firing those connections and seeing that, then it's going to make it easier to accomplish the goal in real life if you can do it first in your mind.
Yeah. And I didn't really understand this much coaching baseball at the time, but for younger age kids, you can actually do more of an active visualization, because kids love playing, like make pretend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, making things up. So it's like, even if you're hitting off of a tee, right? Or even if you're playing in the backyard, the old cliche, like bottom of the 7th or bottom of the 9th, tie game, 3-2 count, coming up to the plate. But you can play through situations with younger players, and the more senses that you can add to it, it's going to be beneficial for them. And that's really a form of visualization.
Mm-hmm.
So that you can do it actively. So I don't want to get too far off the topic of time, but it's a perfect use of time to visualize at such an early age, all the way through playing professionally. And actually, we'll share with that without getting too far off the topic of time.
Yeah, there's a cool drill. This will only take like 30 seconds to explain. It's just like an active visualization where you're either hitting a ball off the tee or throwing a ball. So the kid's just going to have a target or a catch or whatever, someone catching the ball. But if you're throwing, then you see the target. All right, now close your eyes, go through your windup or whatever, your throwing motion, and try to hit the target with your eyes closed. So this will enhance their visualization skills by, when their eyes are closed, they're visualizing the target. And then they can kind of like, they can complete the task with their eyes closed, which is much more challenging than doing it with your eyes open. Same thing off the tee. Have them look at the ball on the tee. All right, close your eyes. Now try to hit it with your eyes closed. visualize the ball with your eyes closed, see the ball there, try to hit it, you know, and obviously they're not going to have a success right away, but they'll get better at it. And it's just a fun exercise for kids to try.
That's cool. I would love to see a kid try that, man. Probably.
Yeah, we've done it at classes, dude. The kids love it. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some kids can hit the target right away, eyes closed, and it's amazing.
Yeah. For coaches, I got to put this little 2 cents in, right? For coaches, stop doing, and if this pisses you off, I'd love to have a discussion with you in the comments. Stop doing monotonous tasks that aren't helping your players. Stop going through bunt defenses. Stop going through the motions. Stop hitting ground balls right at them when they're not making the most out of that time.
Right. As a coach, you only have so much time to practice, you know, where kids are going to be focused. So having a 3-hour practice, I think is asinine, especially for high school players, because, you know, they went through school all day. They have homework. They have girls to think about. Like, they got a lot of shit to do. So if you have maybe like an hour and a half practice where it's very focused, you know, very regimented, you're focused on every single rep, you can get a lot more done in an hour and a half than 3 hours of bullshit where everyone's taking BP on the field, and like that takes an hour and a half in and of itself. And, you know, the players who are shagging get really nothing out of it other than connecting with their teammates, you know, while talking. And then I see coaches that are like, stop talking in the outfield, stop bullshitting during BP. Like, what do you want me to do, dude? I'm standing out here watching a guy hit batting practice for 2 hours, you know? Yeah. And that's actually a great time for you to connect with your teammates.
For sure. Well, Billy, there's a ton of stuff we can talk about with time. Honestly, these talks, they go fast, man. They go quick. So definitely a lot of gold nuggets in there. I know you have something special that you want to share with people watching this, listening to this. So I'm going to put your website up here if you want to share that with everyone.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And then can I just add my closing remarks?
Absolutely, man.
I think the biggest takeaway from this discussion about time is the first thing that we talked about. And it's really to focus whatever task you're doing 100%. You need 100% focus on that task, and don't rush through it. You know, take your time, allow yourself plenty of time to get your workout done, to get your reading done, to cook breakfast, you know, allow yourself plenty of time where you can really focus in 100%. And it's crazy that you'll see if you're able to do that, you actually are going to have more time, and everything will kind of fall into place when you're not rushing and when you really just take your time, appreciate every second, and live in the moment.
That's a very, very great piece of advice, man. Difficult thing to do, but it's
very difficult.
Practicing every single day, man. So,
and you're not gonna be perfect ever, you know. So just if you can practice each day, you know, my mind is here and it's here only. You know, we're doing this talk. I'm all here. I'm not thinking about, you know, the soup I got cooking in the crock pot. Till now, though.
until you bring it to your awareness, for sure. Excellent, man. Always great talking with you. You have camps coming up, correct?
Yeah, we're going to have some classes coming up in January, February, March. We're not sure about the times or days or location yet, but we got something in the works for sure. And like I said, if you were able to tune in live, send me a message on here, email, whatever, and just let me know that you listened to the show. We appreciate it, and I'll get you in for any baseball or softball class that you want to participate in. Free on me.
Harrisburg area, Billy Philo, Masterful Mechanics. Check it out. Website's down below. Billy, thanks for coming on again, man. It's always a pleasure.
Of course, bro. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Peace out, dude.